Welcome to Baseline Thoughts, the podcast where we take a deep dive into all things basketball. We explore the ins and outs of the sport we all love. Grab your headphones and get ready to talk hoops with Baseline Thoughts. Welcome to Baseline Thoughts. I'm your host, Marcus Bullock, joined by my producer, Jason Bryce. Jay, how you doing?
Yo, hey, bro, I'm good, man. Good. Always a pleasure to be here, brother.
Awesome, man. This has been a long time coming, man. We've been talking about this podcast for almost a year now, and it's been on me, like trying to get over a little bit of stage fright of having to host the show and keep everything rolling. But I've had a bunch of people come up and tell me, man, you gotta say this stuff, you gotta put this stuff somewhere. So that's what we're gonna do, man, and I'm excited to do it. And as I was going through, who can I have on the show when you start going through a bunch of people, and I think we got a lot of good shows lined up. When I thought about this individual, it was only right that they be on episode 1. So I'm super excited for that. As I introduce him here, we're going to get into it. He graduated from Holy Cross Prep Academy in 2023. He was a 1,000-point scorer there, 3-time starter, 2-time first team all conference. What else we got? Senior year, he was Burlington County Player of the Year. He was, I believe, 4th team all South Jersey, but that's another story for another day. I know he wasn't really happy about that. And now he's current Arcadia University guard. And this is my son, who I'm super happy to be here on episode 1, Latrell Bullock. Latrell, welcome.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Baseline Thoughts, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take a deep dive into certain areas of basketball. As we get rolling, we're going to talk about a bunch of different topics. What I wanted to have you on, as you know, I train a lot of kids that are getting ready to go to school for the first time, college, and I wanted to kind of get into your experience as a freshman and kind of give some of, not just those guys or girls, but everybody kind of an insight to what you went through as a freshman and kind of, just that experience and maybe you can give some people some advice and some takeaways that might be able to help them, moving forward.
For sure.
Cool. So let's before we get into that, how's your summer been? I know you're ready to get back to school, but what have you been up to this summer?
Honestly, I've spent a lot of time just working out in the gym. I've been working a summer camp, basketball camp. That took up most of my day, and then the nighttime I just go hoop and lift and shoot. And, yeah.
So what has your training been like? What's been the focus? What has been your big area of improvement that you were really trying to work on this summer?
So the main thing, like my main focus was just getting in the weight room, getting stronger, really getting my body right, trying to put on weight. Because I think that last year I really saw the difference between high school and college. Like you can't get away with not lifting. Like it's just not going to happen.
Wow.
Besides the athletic freaks of nature, but that's not everybody. So that's been the main thing. And then, of course, I'm just getting all my shots up, working on my handle, getting to my spots, all that.
Now, as one thing I've noticed, around this area is a lot of the college guys or guys going to college, they're always, where do I play? Where can I play? Where can I play? What did you do to kind of answer that question?
So this summer I actually played in 2 men's leagues. I played in one league with a couple of my teammates, a couple of kids from the area playing in college. And then so that was we were super competitive. We actually had a pretty good summer. And we just played the right way. And I had another league that I played in with probably a little worse competition. My team was worse. but I had the ball more, I could do more. So that's what I used for myself to try to work on things. Yep. But then, during the workouts, we were always playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. Yeah. I found pickup randomly throughout the summer, 5-on-5.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest, in another episode we'll get into needs in the area is just finding places to play. It's really hard in this area for guys of a high level, to find places where they can just go play and have competitive games that aren't, don't turn into the the guys walking up and down the court and things like that.
Sure.
So
Now, let me ask you, not to cut you, Coach. Now, is that maybe, a possibility for like a baseline thoughts summer league for the colleges? Maybe, I don't know.
So that's a great point. So I know there used to be a college summer league that happened. It was over in PA, but the actual schools put their teams in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that kind of went away. And because you were supposed to play in it last year, right? And then it just never happened. And obviously it didn't happen again this year. So that's definitely a thought where, there's enough colleges in the area where we could do that. Or even get there's enough college guys in the area, that you could kind of probably make that happen. So that's definitely something to put on the agenda that we can work to get going. All right, let's get into your freshman year last year. Around this time, you leave. You leave Voorhees, New Jersey, and you head up to Glenside, Pennsylvania, to Arcadia. You get to campus. You're in your room. Your family's left. Your mom's still crying, but she's gone. What were some things that maybe surprised you or caught you off guard, like right when you got on campus? Not basketball wise, just maybe even school wise that maybe you didn't expect or weren't thinking about.
Just the overall freedom, to be honest. Like, you guys all left. And then,
I know that's right. Oh.
You guys left, and then literally, like, from that second you guys left, it was me and my roommate Aiden. We were just on our own. Like, we just had to figure out. Like, I think we ended up going to get food or something. But yeah, it was just. And then we had so much time, like, to do everything. Especially that first week we were there. So much time, like, didn't even know what to do with it. Just. You have so much more time than you even think.
Wow.
But you also have so much that you have to do, so it evens out.
So let's get into that. So what was your schedule like in the fall, with your classes, whatever basketball obligations you have? What was your schedule like with things that you were kind of mandated to be at?
So in the fall, once we actually picked up, we were lifting 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday was at like 7 a.m., trash. And then we were also, the same days we were playing 3 times a week. So playing full court pickup, 5-on-5. And then, so we had to go to those, no option. And then we also had Tuesday, Thursday, the days when we didn't have anything. We had study hall. So all the freshmen had to be in study hall. And then some of the kids who aren't doing it as well have to be in study hall. So that was 2 times a week for 2 hours at a time with Coach Phil in the library. And then classes-wise, I had 2 classes in the morning. So my day was literally wake up, go to class, have a little break, and then depending on the day, study hall or lift and pick up. And then after that, I had the rest of the night to myself.
Can I ask you a question? Was that from the moment like that you stepped on campus, or was that
last year? So I got to campus on a Wednesday for orientation, and then Saturday or Sunday, the rest of the team got there. Like the older kids got there, and then Monday we were lifting.
Oh, so right away!
Yeah.
Wow. And I just want to ask something. I know Coach, you said his mother, your wife, was crying. Now I just want you to be honest, okay? You cried too.
I was the first one.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay,
my little brother.
Okay,
my little brother came up to me and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's something about being away from home. It's like a little bit of homesick at first. You know what I'm saying? But when did you say like, I'm like a grown man out here? That's what I want, because there's a moment when you say, everything's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? I miss them, but they over there.
It took a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, obviously being home for 18 years and then going to live by yourself is completely different.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it took a little bit. I mean, once probably like a month or 2.
Oh, okay.
Then I was once the season started, that's when I was like cool.
Got you. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's when I agree. I think once the season officially started and you were in the flow, I think things kind of changed for you. Now with that, with your schedule in the fall, you had your lifts, you had the pickup classes, study hall. Now you still had to figure out times to get your shooting in, to work on your individual game, to eat, to study. So how were you able to budget your time, or how do you think you did budgeting your time to get all of that stuff in that's not mandatory to do, but if you're going to be successful in the classroom as well as on the court, those things that you need to do?
So, my roommate he's super organized, and he was motivating me. So that helped a ton, like just holding me accountable. So the first month we were probably getting up every morning, shooting when the gym opened 8 or 9, getting shots up before class. I like shooting at night better, so I'd go back at night, get shots up. Eating's hard for me, like just especially, but I think I did okay. Like you got to make sure you eat because you have to put fuel in your body. You have to.
Yep.
But it's hard to eat when you're just going from place to place to place. But sometimes one thing I picked up on, you don't have to eat. Like I can bring the food back to my room. Like I don't have to eat at the dining hall. So I can bring it back to my room, eat, and do all my stuff there while I'm eating, and then go. So I can save time. And then with study hall, I didn't have to study on my own at all. Like those 2 hours, I got everything done 90% of the time. Right. So then after that, I was cool for the week or whatever.
Cool. How's the food at Arcadia?
That's what I was definitely was wondering that.
So this is just a little insight. There's 2 different kind of routes you could take, correct?
Yeah.
You can kind of go the dining hall route, or they have the chat, which is kind of a little bit more for us South Jersey people. It's more a little Wawa-ish.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So I guess give me kind of the rundown of both of them.
So the chat, the kiosk, you order your food, they make it right there. This food was probably the best food I ever had in my life for about a month. And then after that, it was like, I don't want this at all. The dining hall is good because it has more options. There's a salad bar, fruit. They have like pizza all the times. They're making 7 different meats, like all that. So that's definitely better. You definitely get more filling because at the chat you just get the one meal, like, and that's it. In the dining hall you can just keep going and going and going. So that and the dining hall food's not great, but it's tolerable.
Well, let me ask you: the chat is more for like what, like after the dining hall is closed, or is actually like its own separate route?
So the chat's open pretty much all day. So from 7:30 to 10.
Oh, okay.
7:30 a.m. 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And then the dining hall has certain hours.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So there's some times in the day where you can go to either or.
Mm-hmm.
And like the dining hall at 7, they close for the day.
Gotcha.
And at that point, you have to.
You got to go to the chat, whatever.
Which sucks sometimes, but
yeah.
What was your go-to at the chat?
I got a cheesesteak with mayo and pickles.
That's it though. Just mayo and pickles. Wow. I guess that's not a South Jersey thing where they get the lettuce, tomato, and all that stuff. They make it like a hoagie or something.
Cheesesteak.
Yeah, I like that usually, but they put.
Yeah, I got you. That's what's up.
All right, now let's get back on track here a little bit. We always talk about food. Now with the weight training, you said you were weight training 3 times a week. You had to pick up 3 times a week. Was there anything about those 2? I guess really those 2 things that kind of, like I said, caught you off guard, or things you felt you weren't prepared for, or just weren't expecting?
Pickup was I don't even know how to explain it. It was an experience. Definitely like going into it for me, and I know all of my other freshman teammates, like it was hard for us because like nobody respected us, nobody knew us. We didn't get the ball, like so we're basically just doing cardio, which sucked. Like it wasn't expected. Like we expected that we were just gonna hop in, but it wasn't a learning experience for sure. And in the weight room, we definitely didn't do as much conditioning, especially in the preseason. As I thought we were gonna do.
Yeah.
So that was like. I definitely had to make sure, like, when we were playing pickup, I was actually getting that cardio in, like, actually running and trying to get myself in shape. But that was probably really it for what I expected, didn't expect. Everything else seemed pretty. Yeah.
So now, once the season starts and you're officially in season, what is it? Mid-October.
Yep.
You guys officially start. What is? How does your schedule change? What's the schedule look like now? You still have the same classes. I'm assuming you still have the same study hall. What changes in your schedule?
So we had the same classes, obviously. So our practices were different every day because everybody's classes are different. So like some days we're practicing at 3 and other days we're practicing at 8, which is whatever. But then the other times people are missing practice because they have class, which obviously isn't ideal. But yeah, my schedule. So I'm going straight from class to practice, and then we are lifting twice a week during the season. So sometimes it was class to practice to lift, and then we're done for the day. But then you also got to get your shots in and all that extra stuff. So it was a lot, but yeah.
Is it fair to say? So I mean, because you're telling me. I mean, you're telling us or whatever. You pretty much had a full day every day.
Yeah. This is
so there was really really no days off like that.
No days.
Wow.
Yeah. Every day, going straight to class. Depending on time when you wake up.
Right.
For me, I was waking up right before class. Like, not whatever.
Right.
Waking up right before
As long as you get there, that's all that matters.
We go right before class and go to class, then go practice. And I'm like, dang, I left at 10:30 and I don't get back till 8:30. Like,
wow.
And I'm only 3 minutes away. So
wow.
It's crazy.
And then so you got to figure out your meals in between it. That has to be tough though.
Yeah, that was my hardest thing. Because like, sometimes you're not even hungry, but you
got to eat.
Because you can't eat again for another 5 hours. So you have to eat.
Were there any instances, my last question, were there any instances where, and in New York, we called it, amongst my friends, we called it Earl the Pearl. Earl the Pearl, you know what I'm saying? Because that was a basketball player, but we said, we had our little jokes, Earl the Pearl. So was there any moments in practice that you had that experience of Earl the Pearl?
Not me, personally.
Okay, but I'm sure there was there was some few.
I don't know if we had any during practice.
Okay.
But we had a couple during lift.
Oh, okay.
A couple during lift.
Gotcha.
Shout out Tamir.
Now, actually, when you get on the court, now the season starts, you guys are in the games. Was the level of play, I guess, within your own team as well as the teams you played against, was that what you expected? Were the guys better? Were they not as good as what you expected? What was your experience with that?
So my one thing, everybody's size was like expected. Like there was nobody like I was like, oh, you're bigger than like I thought you were gonna be. But some of these dudes are a lot more skilled than I would have imagined. Like there's some dudes like I'm like if you were a couple inches taller, you could be on a complete like we wouldn't even know who you are. Like
different level.
Yeah, like but that for sure. I mean, the physicality, that was I got first practice, I got hit with 3 screens in a row. I couldn't feel my ribs for like a day. It was bad. But no, for the most part, everything was pretty expected. Like the pace of the game I liked it. Like I fit in perfect. Like just movement, the flow. Like that was all fine. But definitely the physicality, and dudes were just better than like I would have thought for D3.
Yeah, and I second that because going to your games, the two things that I noticed, one were that these kids can just play. Like, you think, and I think I have a better understanding of the different levels of basketball than the average person. But even saying that, these kids could play. And going back and thinking about it, there were very few freshmen and sophomores on the court at any time. And I'm not just talking about Arcadia, I'm talking about the teams they played against. So one thing I noticed right away was the size, meaning strength of a lot of these kids. And, you'd have these small guards that are 5'8", 5'9", but they're just jacked and they're quick and can still move and can still do everything, but they're just super strong. And then you look up, oh, who's this guy? And you find out he's 23. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And that's nothing against, that's just the world of college basketball now. Okay, that makes sense. And even Arcadia had 2 fifth years, and the one kid was an All-American, and you could see it. Like, it's just different. So I was definitely surprised at how good. I knew the teams were going to be good. Obviously, it's college basketball, but they were even better than I expected, and it's changed my whole perspective on Division III basketball. And I tell kids that I work with now that, listen, it's not like oh, I'll just go play D3. Like that's right. That don't work, right? Like you still gotta be able to play at that level. So I definitely agree with that.
Well, let me ask you, to that point, who were some of your toughest opponents that you guys played?
So we played Widener.
Out in Pennsylvania.
Chester,
okay, yeah. Chester.
They had five or six fifth years.
Oh,
6 year.
Yeah, 6 years.
A 6 year?
Yeah.
That's for the COVID stuff? Is that the COVID stuff?
COVID stuff, red shirt, injury, all that stuff.
Okay, I got you. Wow.
And they were all old, big, tall, skilled.
Wow. Okay.
They killed us.
Okay. It happens.
That was.
And then you guys you were fortunate enough, you got to play against the Division I team at Towson.
Yeah. Oh, you played Towson?
I played Towson.
Oh, okay. In Towson or okay.
In the arena, that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. They were huge.
Yeah. Arena's not bad either, too. Arena's pretty nice, right? Nice. That whole area is nice, too, by the way.
But even we played them. I'm 6'1". The dude I was guarding was 6'4", 6'5".
Oh, wow.
At the same position.
At the same position. Right? Wow, okay.
Yeah, they have. I mean, at the end of the game, both teams have their, the end of their bench in the game, and Towson subbing in 7-footers.
Yeah. Oh my God!
This kid hasn't played the whole game.
Oh goodness!
So that's just the difference in the levels. But it was. I thought it was cool. Being able to watch it was pretty cool.
Absolutely, good stuff.
Now, what was the role that you played as a freshman? What was your role on the team?
So during the games, I didn't play a ton. End of the game, garbage time. But I was on the bench having the time of my life. I thought I had so much fun just supporting these dudes and just cheering for them and being into the game. I felt like I was on the court, some of the games. Just having that energy, just trying to be positive, even because there's gonna be some games we're struggling. We gotta keep the team uplifted, keep the spirits high, keep morale high. For the games, and then practice. So we did it. So yeah, white squad and black squad. And black squad was more of the rotational players.
Yeah.
And then white squad, which was I was on, that was the dudes who didn't get in. And we're playing, we're just competing all practice. So our job for real was to just push the starters and the kids who actually play, just push them. We did. So we would do scout practice. We're acting like the other team, just trying to replicate them as best as we could.
Oh, wow.
And
that's dope.
For scouting purposes. And then, yeah.
Was there ever a moment where the white team outplayed the black team?
100%.
So what was that? So what was that punishment like, though?
There wasn't really.
Or was there a punishment? You know what I'm saying?
So when white squad lost, we had to run up and back. Black squad lost, we'd do it again. It was never.
Okay.
But whenever white squad won, it was always blow. Black squad wasn't trying. It was always that.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't a real punishment.
I got you.
So how did you handle that? So you come from high school, probably your sophomore, junior, senior year. You probably played 32 minutes a game in high school. Your junior, senior year, you're leading the team in shooting. attempts, right, as well as scoring, but meaning you're getting the shots. If you mess up, you're not coming out of the game. You didn't have a worry in the world about playing time or anything like that. Now going to Arcadia, I know you weren't going there with the mindset of, oh, I'm not going to play this year. You were trying to get on the court, and that didn't really happen. Yeah, you had your, you had your times. You played here, you played there, but when it really came down to it, you were one of those bench guys. How did you learn to accept that and keep pushing forward to try to, like you said, push the black team and still be a positive impact on the team?
At first, I struggled with it, like not playing. Like after literally going from player of the year to 0 minute DMPs, that was hard. But I mean, at first it was just like, dang. And then after a little bit, it was like, all right, it is what it is. Now we just gotta get better. And that's when I think in practice, my confidence started rising. I started kind of just playing more free and like just really trying to improve myself at practice and do the right things to try to get on the court. Eventually it didn't really work out, but yeah.
I think, because I think sometimes, I think sometimes things are like pecking order, right? So like as a freshman, it's rare, I think. So,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I know you still have that confidence where it's like, yo, I don't care if I'm a freshman. Like, yo, so what? Like, I can get with a senior or whatever the case may be. But I do want to just like commend you. It's not even like a question. It's more like a prop or you know what I'm trying to say. I'm commending you. There it is. You said you had the time of your life on the bench. So that means that you might not have been happy about it,
right.
but you accepted it.
Yeah.
So were there, and no, actually, I can't even go with that. I really want to ask the question, like, were there others having the time of their lives? Or did you happen to notice from maybe on looking at other teams, I'm not going to talk about your team, other teams, did you see where there were kids that weren't necessarily taking on that role like you did?
I couldn't really tell for other teams because I'm all the way on the other side of the court.
I knew he was going to say that.
But I mean, there were some games where we're yelling, we're the defense.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
And then the other, like then we come down on offense, they're doing it too.
Oh,
like,
okay,
we're trying to be louder.
Good. Okay.
So, but yeah. But even my team, I think there was nobody really who was just like
sulking.
Yeah, everybody was
good.
into it.
Good.
Like, I think we had a pretty good group of guys, pretty close team.
That's good, man. Good, yeah.
So what now? You're getting ready to head back for your second year. What's going to be your approach? To kind of make things different than they were your freshman year, so that you can be on the court or even just in school in general. What will you change? What's going to be different to kind of help you have a better year than you did your freshman year?
So going into my freshman year, they brought back the same team that they had from their conference championship the year before. So not playing, like going in, it was like I thought I had a chance to crack the rotation, but like I wasn't like, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to play. This year I feel more like I have a bigger chance, bigger opportunity. Sure. So now, like last year I kind of like not gave up, but like kind of accepted that I wasn't going to play almost, which sounds bad to say, but this year I think I get so much more open. I think this year I'm definitely gonna go in. I gotta eat more. I think I gotta be consistent with my shooting, my lifting every day, even on the days I don't want to do it. I think I really gotta get into shape, like game shape, before the season. I think that's a big thing too. Just being able, because in practice we're competing the whole time. Like it's not a whole lot of skill stuff where you're taking a break. Like we're playing 5-on-5, 3-on-3 for most of the time 2 hours straight.
Wow.
So that's game shape, and then getting my body right, my mental right.
What's up, man?
Cool. Now, if you could give a player who's going into their first year of college, and you know plenty of them, any piece of advice to kind of help them through that transition, what would it be?
I got a couple.
Okay.
So the first one is definitely just what I was saying earlier, just get in the gym, because you're not going to have a whole lot. Like during practice, like we probably shot for 15 minutes at the end of practice, like 3 times a week. And at that point, it's everybody's like, all right, we're finally done. Like it's not even for real. Right. So definitely like just getting it on your own and putting the extra work in. And then finding times to make sure you're eating, make sure you're stretching, all the other stuff you have to do, along with your schoolwork, which is the most important thing. And then another thing is build a relationship with your coaches. Because I think, for me personally, in the fall semester, and then even into pretty much the season, I was like, obviously I have a good relationship with my coaches, but like we weren't that close, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like they didn't really know a whole lot about me besides the basketball part. Which kind of made it harder to like ask questions and have those tougher conversations. Then for me, after the season, I started meeting with Coach Adam like once a week, just to talk about life, like talk about basketball, life, school, all the other stuff. And I just feel like even now I just have such a much better connection with him. I feel like he trusts me more. I trust him more. But yeah, and then also another thing, Coach Phil, he offers workouts for us during the season. So I'm in the morning before class, I go work out with him. Then we have practice after class. Do that. Get in the gym with your coaches, because they're the ones who know what you need to get better at. They're the ones who know what they want you to get better at. So they're not going to have you doing something that you don't need to be working on.
That's good. I think the relationship piece is very strong. And I think as a coach myself, that's something that I try to do as well, is build those relationships. And I think the main thing, like you said, was for those tough conversations. And those tough conversations a lot of times aren't even about basketball. It's you want your players, and knowing Coach Adam the way that I've gotten to know him, and the few conversations I've had with Coach Phil, I can say the same thing about them. They want to make sure that they're there for you, not just through basketball, but through anything else you guys may need. So I think that's really important. And the more I can say this, the more as a parent that I know that your coaches have a relationship with you, the better I feel, not being there, and your mother feels about not being there, and being able to trust that your coaches have your best interest in mind, which we both feel that they do. So I agree. I think that's a great piece of advice, and building those relationships is always super, super important.
Let me ask you, Trell, ice tray. Wasn't it the ice tray trail?
Something like that.
Listen, when you go to the gym and you get your shots up and stuff like that, right? So I'm assuming you going when the gym is first open. Are you the only one in there, or other people are in there?
So this past year we had one gym. During the season, it's us in there.
Okay.
The women's team's in there.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the season, men's volleyball is all in there. Practicing
at
for
one
2
time.
hours.
Wow. Okay.
Not all at the same time, but like,
different time.
We're practicing at 4, next one's at 6, next one's at 8. Like, so you can't get in.
Right.
So definitely got to find the times, because the gym's not always open.
I got you.
And then, but yeah, a lot of times when I go in, there's other dudes in there.
Other dudes, okay. Yeah. And then my last question is, what's your major?
Business administration.
Okay. All right. And then what's the future plan?
I'm not completely sure yet.
Okay.
I think I might end up switching, to be honest. I've been looking into marketing a little bit, so.
We all go hand in hand, bro.
It's just true, but.
Let's say. It's good stuff, though, man. Good.
All right, last question I got for you, and we're going to wrap this thing up. And I'm going to ask every guest this question, and for you being the first guest, it's going to be the easiest, because you have everyone else in the world to pick from. Baseline Thoughts is going to be continuing here for a lot of years to come. if you could suggest one guest that we have on this show, and you have to be able to help us with this guest, who would you like to see on Baseline Thoughts?
I mean, you know my answer.
I don't.
John Valori. But that
Good old John Valori. I think we can make that happen.
Oh,
that's going to be interesting.
That's going to be interesting.
That might be the most viewed podcast. But I think we can make that happen. Well, Latrell, thank you for being on the first episode of Baseline Thoughts. Something I don't say enough to you. I'm proud of you and I love you. And I'm super excited to see what this year holds for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
To my producer, Jason, number 1 is done, and we got many more to go.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for joining Baseline Thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching Baseline Thoughts, powered by Baseline Hoops. Check out Baseline Hoops for all your basketball development needs. Please visit us on all social media platforms at Baseline Hoops NJ. If you like the show, please like and leave a comment, and let us know if you have any topics you would like to hear on Baseline Thoughts.